Candid Conversations with Candidates, brought to you by Crow Wing Power in partnership with Lakes Media Collaborative and the Brainerd Lakes Chamber. I'm Lisa Paxton, and it's my pleasure to welcome Darrell Schneider. Darrell is a candidate for Cross Lake Mayor. Darrell, glad to have you with us today.
Oh, thank you, Lisa.
Go ahead with your opening comments.
Hello, I'm Darrell Schneider. My wife, Colleen, and I have lived on the west side of Cross Lake for the past 18 years. I am a retired professional engineer and have been mayor of Cross Lake since January of 2011. I've often been asked, why are you running for mayor? You're retired. Shouldn't you be enjoying your retirement? Well, when I first ran for this position, it was with one central thought in mind. I felt I had an obligation to do everything I could to make sure that Cross Lake remained the wonderful place it is, because I've lived and served within it. In the past 2 years, we've made progress and accomplished a number of the things that we set out to do, but there remains a great deal that needs to be done. Cross Lake has historically been well managed fiscally, but we haven't been able to avoid the effects of the overall economy either. We will continue to work hard to have a reasonable, common sense city budget, but we also must do much more to grow our business community through a revitalized economic development authority. We want to make sure that Cross Lake continues to be the kind of place we want it to be, but we must prevent ordinances from turning it into over-regulation. In the next 2 years, we'll review our book of ordinances, now codified and available by computer, and make sure that the rules we choose to live by serve the best interests of our community and do not place an undue hardship on our business or citizens. We need to visualize a realistic plan for Cross Lake's future, not to compete in a race, but rather to create an environment for economic growth that builds on our unique resources and allows us to develop a community that all people would desire to call home. We need to continue to effectively manage and improve our city administration and the services it provides, and better communicate to the people, both by listening to their concerns as well as ensuring that they are informed. Cross Lake has a great future in store, and I'm committed to listening, communicating, and leading us through what needs to be done to assure that we reach that future together. I'm asking for your help and your vote on November 6th. I'm Darrell Schneider, and thank you for listening.
Darrell, thank you. What would you consider to be your top priority if reelected?
Top priority would be to revitalize the business community. We actually have a business that with a national market that's will be having its opening. It's supposed to be today, but it'll be on September 11th. So we've have had some success with our businesses, but we're looking to develop the businesses that will allow the community to develop better.
Okay. When you talk about the community developing better, what does that mean to you?
During the last year, we revitalized our Economic Development Authority and been working with Bladec to put together a plan, not only to upgrade our comprehensive plan, but also to revitalize our individual businesses. And we'll be planning to bring the businesses in to be able to have their input into the whole process.
Okay, great. So as we look at the other candidate running for Cross Lake Mayor, give me 3 things that distinguishes you from that candidate.
Well, I've had 2 years of experience now as mayor. I served several years on the Cross Lakes long-range economic development commission, and I've worked for 40 years in cities throughout the state of Minnesota.
Okay. Let's talk about budget priorities. It's not easy in local units of government today with budget challenges. What are your budget priorities, and how will you pay for them?
It is a challenge for us because our tax capacity has been decreasing, especially around the lakes, and and it's serving the lake people don't mind that, but the shortages end up falling on inland properties and on our businesses. That's one of the pressures we have on maintaining our businesses. We've given priority to projects. We've completed our revitalizing the street projects, and we've given priority to working on the projects and supporting things like the community center that bring more people into the community for our businesses to be able to serve.
Okay. How will you make sure that Cross Lake is business friendly, Darrell?
By working with the businesses. I know I spend a lot of time listening to what the businesses have to say. I'm very glad to meet with them, and I've attended many of the chamber meetings that are held in the area, and I keep contact with the chamber office in Cross Lake, which we're fortunate to have here, and just try to be involved in what's happening in the business community.
Okay. You mentioned a couple of different community partners. Do you have specific community partners that you'll work with if elected to accomplish the work you want to see happen?
What do you mean by community partners?
Really, it's anyone other than your city government team. Are there other natural partners that you see coming to the table to support your work and the work of the city?
Well, we're working with Bladeck. I think they've been very effective for us, and they bring other people that have some senior management people that they bring to the table for us to have someone to review our various ideas with.
Okay, great. And you mentioned a few others earlier as well. That concludes our formal questions. Darrell, is there anything else you want to add, or any topics we didn't cover that you want to be sure we mention?
Well, I'll just say Cross Lake has a great future in store, and I'm committed to listening, communicating, and leading us through what needs to be done to assure that we reach that future together. I ask for your help and your vote on November 6th. I'm Darrell Schneider, and thank you for listening.
Darrell, thank you for joining us, and thank you for those listening and watching for joining us for Candid Conversations with Candidates. You can see this and other interviews at votebrainerdlakes.com along with our online voters guide. And remember, vote November 6th.
Thank you, Lisa.